How long have you had to wait for a COVID test?
It was very easy to get in, but don't expect results in any kind of timely manner.
The different delays we're seeing at local testing facilities and how you can get results faster. Just as practice started, some local football teams could be forced to stop. The setbacks some of those teams are facing.
But I never thought ever this would happen.
It was a racial confrontation caught on camera. The charges the victim wants to see filed against the man who confronted her. An O'Fallon, Missouri man has been charged with assault. That man is accused of hitting and yelling racial slurs at a home health aide. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Thank you for joining us tonight. The victim is now asking that prosecutors file federal hate crime charges. Our Jasmine Payute reports.
I know I heard about it in school, about everything back in the day, but I never thought ever this would happen to me.
It's an incident that seems to transcend time.
I got pictures.
A person of color being bombarded with racial slurs while on the job.
When he was coming across the street, he was yelling, "You black B, take care of him." I ignored him when he said that, but then he started coming full force across the street.
Rashara Jordan says she was working as a home health aide July 2nd when she was attacked by this man, 60-year-old Lawrence Gamache.
I was scared, nervous.
She says Gamache accused her of not being attentive to her client before physically attacking her on Brazel Court in O'Fallon, Missouri.
Next, he smacked me, grabbed me by my neck. I pushed him off me. He went home. Me and my client tried to go back to the house.
Fearing for her safety, Rashara called O'Fallon police, who say the mayhem did not stop when they arrived.
The officers indicated that when they were there, he did use the N-word at the victim's direction. The victim described that he was as well, and also called her a black.
Gamache was arrested and later charged with 4th-degree assault. The victim now wondering why hate crime charges were not filed.
Had the assault been solely motivated because of the victim's race, then that's a hate crime. Outside of that, it's just an assault.
Is it possible that his perception of how she was caring for the elderly male is based off her race as well?
I can't say that. That would be pure speculation.
I know it's a lot of racial stuff going on, but he could have went another way about it instead of what he did.
Reporting in O'Fallon, Jasmine Payute, 5 on your side.
Rashira and her attorney want federal hate crime charges brought up against the suspect. O'Fallon police say they do not tolerate any type of assault and say this is not a reflection of their community.
An Amber Alert has been issued for 2 children out of Southwest Missouri. These 2 kids are ages 4 and 8, and they believe they were taken by Hilda Melendez this morning. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says Melendez could be driving a Ford Flex like this one with the Missouri license plates RA1J1L. RA1J1L. Another woman may be in the car with Melendez, and police say they could be en route to Mexico.
Well, we're still under a heat advisory for a few more hours, and we could see a pop-up storm this evening.
Let's get a first check of the forecast with meteorologist Jim Castillo. Jim?
Yeah, hey, so it's official, 96. The high temperature today makes it the hottest day of the year so far. So we are definitely on the humid side, too, and it makes it feel like 100 or more. But we're watching the skies, too, because we've got a cold front just to the west of us, and the atmosphere is capped at the moment, so not much is developing. Sure is pretty out, but very hot. We have to watch the skies throughout the entire evening hours for some storm development. Temperatures right now, everybody in the 90s, but it feels like 100. We'll talk more about this heat wave, a break this weekend, and another heat wave next week. Guys, back to you for now.
Jim, thank you. Disease experts warn that a delay in COVID-19 test results could skew our understanding of where we stand in the fight against this virus.
Some people say they get their results in a few days. Others wait weeks. So why the delay? And what should you do if you want to get tested now? 5 on your side's Abby Larico found out.
Since getting tested last month,
I've seen family, and I don't want my family to hate me for gambling on them. their health.
It's why Tyler doesn't want to show his face.
You feel completely fine, but you want to do what's right, for the people around you.
With no coronavirus symptoms, but because someone at work had it, Tyler got a test. He heard it would take a week, so he went to a second testing center. 10 days later, he hasn't heard from either one.
It was very easy to get in, but don't expect results in any kind of timely manner.
So why are some people getting results immediately, others waiting up to 2 weeks? Testing centers are inundated with recent demand, so almost everyone is waiting a little longer. Also, this is not first come, first served. LabCorp says it's running tests for people who are sick, vulnerable, or healthcare workers first. Quest Diagnostics prioritizes with a 3-tier system.
If you don't have symptoms and you're not a healthcare worker or first responder, you don't even make that list. That means even if you do go to an urgent care or testing center that will test you without symptoms, prepare to have your patients tested too.
I put my life on hold longer than I was expecting to. I'm playing the waiting game.
So where should you go for a test? If you can, ask your doctor. Hospitals may process results more quickly. Pharmacies and healthcare centers offering free tests will often require a screening to determine if you're eligible. Check online before you go. Some centers, like Total Access Urgent Cares, will test anyone, but it costs money if you don't have insurance, and results aren't coming as quickly as they were even a few weeks ago.
I feel like I've done the right thing by going to get tested. Life is just a lot of hurry up and wait right now.
Abby Larico, 5 on your side.
Signing up to get results directly from third-party labs could help you get results faster. Dr. Alex Garza, the pandemic task force, says hand washing, mask wearing, and social distancing are extra important while labs try to catch up. We want to know, how long have you had to wait for a COVID test result? Less than a week, or more than a week? You can vote now on Ksdk.com or on the Ksdk app.
Let's take a look at new cases of COVID-19 confirmed in the St. Louis area. Yesterday, the region, which includes both sides of the river, saw the highest number of new cases in a single day. There were 437 new confirmed cases. That is up from 333 on Tuesday. You can see this in the blue bars at the far right. So each bar represents a single day going back to the start of the pandemic. The black dots are that 7-day moving average. That is also climbing. Despite an increase in new cases, deaths in our area remain low. Now, one death, of course, is far too many. And in the past 7 days, 25 people have died from COVID-19.
New tonight, Kirkwood High School investigating allegations of sexual abuse against students.
Several former students have spoken up, saying teachers had inappropriate contact with them and school leaders did nothing to help them. The I-Team's PJ Randawa spoke with 2 of those former students and has a preview of their stories.
Several former Kirkwood High School students from the 80s up until present day are coming forward to say they were abused by teachers or faculty. Some cases of abuse were reported while others were not.
Parma Lapline was a Kirkwood High School student in the early 1980s. That's when she tells the I-Team she was groomed by her teacher. She said it started with inappropriate hugs and escalated to pornographic jokes and cartoons. She never reported the abuse and only recently began to speak of it here on this Kirkwood High School alumni Facebook page. That's where several other women are calling out their teachers for inappropriate behavior, or in some cases, sexual abuse.
I had no idea, sadly, that there would be so many other women who would also sort of spontaneously, it seems, share their stories. And I had no idea at the time, until yesterday really, that it was this widespread.
The I-Team found out what one of those accused teachers did after leaving the school. We'll have comment from Kirkwood High School and hear from another victim. That's coming up tonight at 10. For the I-Team, PJ Randawa, 5 on your side.
If you have a tip for the 5 on your side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Police need your help identifying 3 men who broke into a South County middle school, the expensive items they got away with. And getting ready to return to the classroom, how much money Governor Parson is giving to colleges and universities to get students back on campus. 5 on Your Side is teaming up with the 9 Network and St. Louis Public Radio to host an hour-long St. Louis County Executive Democratic primary debate. Dr. Sam Page will face other candidates, Jake Zimmerman, Mark Montavani, and Jamie Tolliver. It's all happening on July 22nd at 7 p.m., and you can text questions you have to 314-444-5125.
Police need your help in looking for 3 men who broke into a Melville middle school, not once, but twice. This is surveillance video from Berkeley Middle School. Police say 3 men entered around 1:30 a.m. They vandalized the building. They steal several $1,000s worth of property, according to police. Then, this is 1:30 a.m., they come back around 10 a.m. and stole more stuff, like the musical instruments. If you recognize these people, please call the St. Louis County Police Department at 314-615-4156.
3 people were shot downtown late last night, and it was all caught on security camera. 2 adults and a teenager were walking near City Garden at 9th and Market when they were shot. Police say 2 gunmen jumped out of the bushes in the park and started shooting. All 3 were taken to the hospital. We don't yet know their conditions. Another woman was with the group when the shooting happened. She was not hurt. Police are still searching for 2 gunmen. Taking your child's safety seriously on the football field, why some local high school teams' practices could be delayed. Schnucks is once again sponsoring the Folds of Honor campaign. 5 on Your Side is a proud partner. Money raised provides scholarships to spouses and children of fallen and injured service members. You can round up your total at the register from now until August 11th. You can also text FOLDS to 314-444-5125 to donate.
I don't think there's any question in the state of Missouri, we got to get the schools open back up. We got to get kids back to school.
Governor Parson announced that Missouri will use millions of dollars in CARES Act funding to get kids back to school this fall. $125 million will be used for various things. It'll help colleges and universities open in the fall. Those schools will be able to use funding to get more hardware and software for students to be able to have access to remote learning. It will also help those colleges and universities buy PPE and change any physical spaces on campus to accommodate for social distancing.
A nonprofit group that makes sure every kid in St. Louis can play a sport is closing for now. STLU Sports Outreach posted on Facebook today that due to COVID, they're going to close for a while. They also can't accept any donations at this time. The organization says they'll reevaluate things in a month and see if they can reopen. In the meantime, organizers say they'll continue to help out in the community any way they can. There's new information about the future of high school sports. High contact sports were supposed to resume this month, but as 5 on Your Side's Hannah Yates explains, because of a rise in COVID cases, that's been put on pause.
This week, many high school sports teams across St. Louis began summer workouts under phase 2 of a return to play plan. But teams looking to take the next step forward will now have to wait a little while longer. 31 public schools across the St. Louis Suburban Conference were preparing to enter phase 3 of a return to play plan created by the St. Louis Sports Medicine COVID-19 Task Force. But Parkway Schools Athletic Director Mike Roth says that timeline shifted Wednesday night.
We were hoping to move into phase 3 next week, but there's been just a recent outbreak across St. Louis County with more positive tests, with more hospitalizations.
Phase 2 was approved on June 29th, which allows team contact drills in small groups. Phase 3 would allow full team scrimmages, games, and the use of equippment.
If you think about football, you've got not only your helmet and shoulder pads, but your pads and your pants and everything. So basically, it's a gradual orientation to getting kids equipped and used to using that equipment.
Roth says all teams can do right now is take current protocols seriously to ensure safety moving forward.
Even when our student athletes arrive for their screening prior to practice, they're wearing a face covering or a mask. During practices, our coaches in Parkway will be wearing masks.
The medical task force says it will reevaluate the decision to enter phase 3 on July 21st. If approved, teams will be able to begin phase 3 protocols on July 26th. Hannah Yates, 5 on Your Side.
The heat continues, and it's going to continue. It's going to be a hot weekend if you're planning on doing anything outside. You're really having to get creative just to kind of cool off with everything being closed.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to be outside, Jim, won't it?
Yes. Hey, you two. It's going to be a little on the tough side, but a little bit of a break from the oppressive stuff that's been hitting us all week long, even throughout the evening hours right now. And then we'll get a little break this weekend, and boy, it comes back tough next week with probably more advisories and warnings on the heat. But heat advisory till 7 o'clock this evening. And temperatures right now look like this. In fact, with the humidity, 99 in St. Louis, 101 in Centralia, Illinois, even Farmington at 97, Rolla 94. And we are watching the sky to see if any of these clouds start to get a little bit more vertical development. It's kind of capped right now, but that cap could break and then a thunderstorm could pop up. So we'll be watching that this evening. 93 degrees right now, dew point 70. And there it is, the high for the entire year so far, 96. That's the warmest we've been, hottest we've been so far. 76 for the overnight low. 89 and 71 are the averages, and the mosquito forecast is only medium because we have a nice breeze today out ahead of that cold front. And then back behind the front, as it moves through tomorrow morning, we'll see a northwest breeze at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And look at this, up to the north of us. Couple watch boxes for severe weather, eastern Iowa into northern Illinois. And there's the cold front going through Kansas City right now. Again, our atmosphere seems capped at the moment. If that cap breaks, you could get those showers and storms popping. So the next 12 hours, we still have a chance of showers and storms, even through the midnight hour, with that front coming through, and then temperatures dropping down in the morning hours. Then tomorrow's heat index, not as bad as today, but Ann and Mike, like you were saying, stay hydrated, take breaks throughout the weekend. It's still up there at about 94 is what it's going to feel like at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And then next week, it's even worse than that. So more on that coming up. Tonight, spotty storms, 74, otherwise mainly clear. And then breezy, mostly sunny for tomorrow, about 90. That's not too bad. 91 for Saturday, 87 Sunday. Chance of storms even on Saturday, but Friday looks very dry. And then next week, Mike and Ann, 94 Tuesday, 97 Wednesday, 98 on Thursday, wow. And it gets really steamy again.
Impressive. Okay, Jim, thanks. Frank is next.
I'm outside Busch Stadium, and shortly we're going to hear from manager Schilt about how deep his baseball team is. We're also going to ask the question, how smart hockey players have to be during COVID-19. Stick around, sports is next. We are just 15 days away from the Cardinals and Pirates opening up here in an empty Busch Stadium. Now, I would be willing to bet the mortgage that Jack Flaherty will be on the hill. He's on the mound as we speak. The Cardinals are playing their first intra-squad scrimmage of summer camp. And the thing about the Cardinals is they may not have superstars. They just have a lot of really good players. Guys like Colton Wong, who won a Gold Glove and hit well last season. And how about Paul DeYoung, who hit 30 homers and made the All-Star team? Manager Schilt says with the extra roster spots, it's anyone's guess who will be playing and how much they will be playing.
We do have a 30-man roster coming to start the season. So there's going to be, 4 extra opportunities off the bat, guaranteed for people on the roster. And then, listen, it's about what you do with the opportunities you're given. And, some guys are going to get every opportunity that they probably want. And then there's some guys that would like more opportunities and, just have to go out and earn more.
While baseball's labor agreement is extremely tenuous, the NHL players and the owners have agreed to a deal that will last till the 2026 season. And training camp begins next week right here for the Blues in St. Louis. Exhibition games will start on the 25th of July as the team will travel to Edmonton. Then the qualifying rounds will begin about a week later. The actual first round of the playoffs will be on August 9th. I asked analyst Joey Vitale if he thinks players will be cautious in dealing with COVID-19.
I think they seem to be fans at times. I don't know if they give the players enough respect about how professional they approach their craft. I think the old shtick is, 20 years ago, guys hitting up bars and strip joints and, rocking the beers in the sauna after games. And certainly that was the case 20, 30 years ago. But the game has changed a lot. And these players are very dialed into the profession. These kids take it very seriously.
So the Blues will have to win their Stanley Cup in Edmonton. I'm Frank Cusimano. Let's send it back to the station.
Thanks, Frank. And there you have it. 5 on Your Side at 6. Wheel of Fortune is next. We hope to see you right back here for 5 on Your Side at 10.